Welcome to Wonderland Stories. Today, we bring you a magical tale full of love, courage, and sacrifice, The Little Mermaid. So sit back, relax, and let your imagination dive deep under the sea. Far beneath the rolling waves of the ocean, where sunlight shimmered like golden threads, there lived a kingdom unlike any other. This was the realm of the merfolk, a place of dazzling coral castles, gardens filled with swaying sea plants, and creatures of every shape and color. The Sea King ruled over this kingdom with wisdom, and by his side was his mother, a kindly grandmother who looked after the king's 6 beautiful daughters. Among them, the youngest was the most enchanting. Her long, flowing hair glistened like spun copper, and her sea-blue eyes sparkled with curiosity and kindness. She had a gentle heart and a voice so melodious that even the dolphins would pause to listen when she sang. This was the Little Mermaid. More than anything else, she longed to see the world above the ocean. Her sisters often told her tales of the human world, of green forests, towering mountains, and the glittering lights of villages by the shore. But what fascinated her most were the stories of humans themselves. They were said to walk on 2 legs, build great ships, and gaze at the stars above. The Little Mermaid would often sit by her coral window, looking upward, dreaming of the world she could not yet visit. According to the rules of the sea, mermaids could only swim to the surface when they turned 15. Each sister eagerly waited for her turn, and when it came, she would return with stories of her adventures. The eldest described the glowing city lights reflecting on the water. Another spoke of children laughing on sandy shores. Yet another told of majestic mountains rising into the clouds. Each story made the Little Mermaid's heart beat faster with longing. At last, the day arrived when she, too, turned 15. Her grandmother adorned her with a crown of pearls, and the Little Mermaid swam to the surface with joy bubbling inside her. As she rose above the waves, she gasped. The night sky was sprinkled with countless stars, and a grand ship sailed across the sea, its sails glowing in the moonlight. Music and laughter drifted across the water, and the Little Mermaid swam closer. On the deck stood a young prince, tall and kind-looking, his dark hair catching the glow of lanterns. He smiled warmly as his companions celebrated his birthday. The Little Mermaid watched, enchanted, her heart filling with a strange, tender feeling she had never known before. She wished she could dance beside him, speak to him, and be part of his world. But suddenly, a storm rolled in. The waves grew wild, lightning split the sky, and the great ship cracked and splintered under nature's fury. The prince was thrown into the sea, struggling against the waves. Without hesitation, the Little Mermaid darted through the waters, her strong tail carrying her swiftly. She caught the prince just as he was about to sink and held him close, guiding him toward the shore. Through the night, she kept him safe, resting his head upon the sand as dawn broke. When the sun rose, she gazed at him tenderly, memorizing every detail of his face. Soon, footsteps approached. A young woman from a nearby temple found the prince and called for help. Fearing she might be seen, the Little Mermaid slipped back into the sea, her heart aching. The prince never knew who had saved him. Back in her kingdom, she grew quiet and thoughtful. She could not forget the prince's gentle smile, nor the warmth of his hand in hers. Her grandmother explained that mermaids lived long lives but, unlike humans, they had no immortal soul. When they died, they became sea foam. Humans, however, had souls that lived on forever. This thought struck the Little Mermaid deeply. She wished not only to be with the prince but also to share a human soul. Her longing grew so strong that she sought out the sea witch, who lived in a dark part of the ocean where serpents slithered and strange plants twisted. The sea witch was powerful and feared, but she welcomed the little mermaid with a sly smile. "I know what you desire," the witch said, her voice like a hiss. "You wish to walk upon two legs and live among humans. I can grant you this. But beware, it comes with a price." The little mermaid's heart raced. "What must I give?" "You must give me your voice," the witch replied. "Your beautiful song, the one thing humans would marvel at most. In exchange, I will brew you a potion. Drink it, and your tail will split into two legs. You will feel great pain as you walk, as though knives pierce your feet, but you will dance gracefully. If the prince loves you and marries you, you will gain a human soul. But if he loves another, your heart will break, and you will become sea foam at dawn." Though the warning was terrifying, the little mermaid thought only of the prince. With courage, she agreed. The sea witch cut off her voice, sealing it into a magical shell, and handed her the potion. The little mermaid swam to the shore near the princess' palace. With trembling hands, she drank the potion. A searing pain coursed through her, and she collapsed on the sand. When she awoke, the sun was shining, and where her shimmering tail had been, she now had two legs. Though her steps were painful, she stood. The prince himself found her on the shore. He marveled at her beauty, though she could not speak a word. He took her to his palace, treating her with kindness. The little mermaid became his companion, walking by his side, dancing for him despite the pain she endured. She grew to love him even more, but he never knew she was the one who had saved him from the sea. The prince often spoke of the young woman from the temple, believing she had rescued him. One day, his parents arranged a marriage with a neighboring princess. The little mermaid's heart trembled with fear. But when she met the princess, she saw the truth. The princess was the same young woman from the temple. The prince rejoiced, believing fate had brought them together. On the night of their wedding, the little mermaid stood on the ship's deck, her heart breaking. She knew that when dawn came, she would turn into sea foam. But as the moon shone, her sisters appeared from the sea, their long hair cut short. "We gave our hair to the sea witch," they said, handing her a dagger. "With this, you can save yourself. If you plunge it into the prince's heart before dawn, his blood will give you back your tail, and you may return to us." The little mermaid took the dagger with trembling hands. She crept into the prince's chamber, where he lay sleeping beside his bride. She looked at him, so peaceful, so happy. Her hand shook, but she could not harm the one she loved. Instead, she kissed him softly on the forehead, whispered a silent goodbye, and threw the dagger into the sea. As dawn broke, she leapt into the waves and felt her body dissolve into foam. But instead of vanishing, she rose into the sky, surrounded by warm light. She had become one of the daughters of the air, spirits who did good deeds and earned souls through kindness. The little mermaid smiled. Though she had not won the prince's love, her sacrifice and purity had given her hope for eternal life. And so, she drifted through the skies, a gentle guardian of children and sailors, carrying with her the song of the sea that could never be silenced. Thank you for listening to Wonderland Stories. The tale of the Little Mermaid reminds us that true love is not about receiving but about giving, even when it means sacrifice. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more magical stories. See you in the next adventure.